Welcome to Mountain Lion Park for the second game of the doubleheader between UCCS Mountain Lions and Colorado Christian Cougars. My name is Brian Geenan. Alongside me is Jake Ross. And Jake, kind of the story of the last game was the Mountain Lion pitching. And going forward, what does that kind of mean for game two?
Yeah, and for UCCS, I mean, it was all Cole Phillip in game one. He set the tone. He was able to power through, and he faced some tough adversity throughout that game. A couple triples. One was a leadoff triple that he was able to work out of, stranding that runner at third base. So for Cole Phillip, he just kind of rode the ship for UCCS. They're able to break through in that seventh inning, and they just got to ride that momentum here into game two.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into the second game, they have another long day tomorrow. They're out in the sun, so it'll be a big game here for game two, as it looks like the right-hander Ryder Mancuso will get the start for the Mountain Lions. We will quickly go through Colorado Christian's lineup to start. If you want to...
Yeah, for Colorado Christian, their batting lineup looks very similar to game one with a couple of changes. Frankie Sheeran will lead things off back out in left field. Caden Walton, who was in the bottom half of the lineup, moves up to the two-hole. He's back out at short. Jordan Medina, we saw him in the designated hitter position in game one. He will be behind the plate catching balls and strikes in the three-hole. Gabe Ramos back out in right field batting cleanup. Major Maiden back at first base, and Luke Thompson, who we saw behind the plate in game one, now doing the designated hitting in the six-hole. Bodie Flores back at third, with Saxton Sorensen being the only true change. He'll be at second base. In game one, we saw Bodie Flores over at second. He's at third, with Russell Cruz dropping out of the lineup here for game two, and Aaron Morgan once again in center field, rounding out the lineup offensively.
Sure, and for UCCS, we'll go through the defense. On the bump is Ryder Mancuso, starting off this second game of our doubleheader. At catcher will be Evan Steinberger, number 31, who will replace catcher from game one. At first base is number 43, Stubbings, returning. Second base, Macaulay Sayre. Third base will be Vander Hodges. Out at shortstop is Ronan Hella. And our outfield today is Hayden Iverson out in left field. Center field is Aaron Brackle. And out in right field again is Casey Campbell. So we are underway quickly here as there's a rip from Shern. And what a play out in center field. Aaron Brackle ranging back, and a long hit ball and a long out for the first of game number two.
And for Brackle, they always tell you as an outfielder, your first step should always be back. Even if it's in front of you, it's easier to come in on a ball than to start in and then backtrack. So perfectly played there, and he's going to have another chance here this time with the hit.
Walton will go up center field for the first hit of the game. Walton didn't have a hit to record to his name in the first game, but gets on board to start game number two. She'll bring around the catcher, as Medina doubled in his first appearance in game one and wasn't able to reach until a walk in the final inning. He will try to make a bit of a difference here.
Mancuso coming into the game. He's got a 1.87 whip, which is one of the better marks in the Mountain Lion pitching staff in that category. So he's not going to give up too many base runners on a regular basis. So Mountain Lions defense sure to be involved in this one with Mancuso on the mound.
It'll be 0-1 to Medina. This one's high. Campbell camps out underneath. And we'll record the second out of this first inning. As the wind has kind of shifted a little bit, it kind of died in between games, and now it looks like it's trying to make up its mind on how it wants to impact game number two.
Yeah, not often do you see that flag out there limp against the pole as it is right now. And usually wind at least a little bit of a factor in these games, but not so far in this first inning.
That'll bring around number 10. That's Ramos, who will be in right field defensively for the Cougars. Ramos walked twice in game one, unable to make much else happen in the batter's box, as he is the cleanup man today in game number 2.
A little bit of a steal call coming out from the infield there from UCCS as just a couple hard steps taken to start the secondary from Walton, but he stays put at first base.
1-1. That one will find the corner. Definitely a generous strike zone in game 1. We'll see how that impacts the second game here.
Generous but consistent, as
Yep.
that's all you can ask for from a player.
Ramos rips this one into the gap out in left center. Iverson gives chase. The runner will head for home. And nothing doing there as Ramos will bring in a run with a double here at the top of the first.
Second game in a row that CCU has struck first in the opening half inning. They got those 2 runs to start game 1. The Mountain Lions were able to get even in the bottom half of the first in game 1. We'll see how it ends up playing, but Mancuso still with lots of baseball hopefully in front of him. Just got to stay after it here.
It'll bring around first baseman, number 34, Major Maiden. Lefty. Maiden in game 1, able to single in his first time around. Flew out to right and then hit by a pitch and walked in his final 2 appearances, as a runner in scoring position, and it's 2-0.
On that previous at bat for Ramos, that's RBI number 31 on his season. That leads his team by a significant margin. So definitely lots of production out of Ramos in that cleanup spot. That's why they put him there.
And I want to ask about the momentum, starting a brand new game. It's the same team, it's the same players that you're facing, but it's a new game, it's a new situation. Can you talk a little bit about how you kind of handle that?
Yeah, well, and for UCCS, it's all about the pitching, and Mancuso just has to kind of, like we said with Cole Phillip, stick to his game plan, as Phillip saw lots of traffic early in that game. They knew he was going to be aggressive early in counts. They jumped on him early, but he stuck to his guns and stayed with his game. And Mancuso just has to do the same thing here, though. Now with that 2-out walk, 2 runners on, you just kind of have to stay after it, keep doing what you do best. And, the Mountain Lions side in game 1, they gave up those 2 runs, were able to come back and tie it, take the lead in the second, and then they were off to the races the rest of the game as the pitching kind of started to settle in.
Major Maiden able to reach a board with a walk, his second of the day. This one's lifted high, not too far, dangerous. Campbell will call off the outfield to retire Thompson as the Mountain Lions allow 1 run. We'll be right back with Mountain Lion offense. We are back at Mountain Lion Park. CCU scores 1 in the top of the first. Mountain Lions bring up Hayden Iverson to start off. It'll be followed by Macaulay Sayre and Casey Campbell in the 3 spot. It'll be Caleb Stubbings at the 4. Evan Steinberger will hit at the middle of the order. Vander Hodges at 6. Dalton Schultz at 7. Aaron Brackle in the 8 hole, and finishing it up with the shortstop, Ronan Hella.
Defensively for the Cougars, in the outfield, it's going to be Frankie Shern out in left, Aaron Morgan back out in center. We saw him there in game 1 as that one's fouled out of play. Gabe Ramos in right field. Bodie Flores slides over to third base. Caden Walton back out at shortstop. Saxton Sorensen slides into the lineup at second base with Maiden, at first.
A nice play at first by Major Maiden, but unable to come up with it as Hayden Iverson is aboard. Tough to see, but looked like an awfully close play. Major Maiden had to come off the bag. And the skipper for the Cougars will come out and have a word. See if these answers suffice. And he will retreat. And Iverson will not receive the hit. It'll be a throwing error. And that'll be on the shortstop, Walton, defensively. That'll bring around Macaulay Sayre. Sayre had 5 at-bats, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Able to score twice. Had some nice plays also defensively at second base in game 1. You will watch that outside corner for ball 1.
Yeah, and on that previous play, it was smart for Major Maiden over there to come off the bag, make sure you secure that throw. That's always the most important thing. Then try the swipe tag. Called that he didn't get it down before Iverson was across, but always a tough play for a first baseman when that throw's kind of on the inside part of the bag. That runner's coming, but Maiden played it perfectly.
Yeah, not sure if he missed him or what kind of went down, but Hayden Iverson will not apologize and will take off for second as Sayre will lift this one into right. And that'll drop. The right fielder looked to make the play. Ramos, I'm not sure if he misjudged it, but it'll be another runner for UCCS to start off game 2.
Yeah, and a tough play out there for Ramos, and also a tough play on the base pass for Hayden Iverson. He was taken off with the pitch, had to kind of freeze. He was 3/4 of the way to second base. Could have easily gotten to third, if not scored. If there was 2 outs on that play, he would have just kept going, but he had to make sure that ball got down, so in case he had to go back to first base.
Gamble lifts this one a mile high. But a nice play in center field as Shern is able to retire Campbell. Campbell in the last game flew out a couple times, but was able to record a single and a walk. Unable to do much in his first appearance, which will bring around the cleanup man, Caleb Stubbings. Stubbings in game 1 grounded out a couple times and able to record 2 hits on 2 singles. And will face the righty Gimbel.
Yeah. Excuse me, Brian. A tough play for the base runners, but played well by Iverson and Sayre on the base passes. That one shallow, freezing, make sure that ball either got down or was caught, but with enough space to get back to their respective bases and not get caught in a double play.
And we saw that a ton in game 1 of where just kind of these shallow hits, kind of bloops, and tough to play with the wind, but able to make the adjustment there I think that's good. Good for CCU. The runners will take off. Stubbings lifts this one to right. That's going to be a tough play for Ramos. And he gets the out, and Iverson and Sayre will return to their bases as we have 2 away.
The wind kind of playing a factor on that one. You saw it kind of hang up there on the right field line. It looked like it was going to cheat foul out of play, but again was blown back into the field of play and into foul territory down that line with the short playing area and foul ground.
That'll bring around the lefty Evan Steinberger behind the dish defensively for the Mountain Lions. Steinberger did not appear in the first game. He'll watch strike one. Steinberger batting just a hair under 400. Has appeared in 12 games so far, started 11. We'll have a favorable matchup against the righty Gimbel. This one's down in front of the left fielder, and it'll kick way back as Iverson and Sayre are both going. Sayre is going to be close at the plate, and the tag just didn't get down. A beautiful throw from the shortstop, but the catcher is unable to make the play.
It's going to be a double for Steinberger. And as you said, we had a great view of that. Just not getting the tag down was Jordan Medina behind the plate, and able to slide underneath for the go-ahead run was Macaulay Sayre. Second game in a row, Mountain Lions have gotten 2 in the bottom of the first.
And I think that's going to be a big, crucial at-bat. Steinberger able to drive in a pair and give the Mountain Lions the lead, as that one's just foul.
Very close on that one.
That'll bring around Vander Hodges, batted in the 6th spot in the first game as well, and played at third base. Had a pair of strikeouts and unable to make it happen offensively. We'll look to get things going here.
For Steinberger, that is RBIs 13 and 14 for him on his season, and he continues to come up in big spots and produce for UCCS.
1-1. This one's ripped to the second baseman. Tough play. Ball squirts out. And Vander Hodges unable to beat the throw. And we will return in just a few minutes with Mountain Lion defense. And it'll be the 7, 8, 9 spots for Colorado Christian, as the third baseman Flores will get the first at bat of the second inning. Flores in game one had a walk, wasn't able to do much. A nice ranging play, and what a throw from third base. Vander Hodges ranges over, ball hit down the line, able to grab it kind of on the backhand side, make the throw all the way across the diamond.
Got an update for you from Game 2 of the softball series. Colorado School of Mines and UCCS Mountain Lions taking on each other at Mountain Lion Field just across the open space here. UCCS dropped Game 1 of that series, losing 3-2, but they are up big. Bottom of fourth, they lead it 12-5. 5 runs in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the third, as they are now in the bottom of the fourth inning. See if they can continue to score runs in each frame. There's 7 Mountain Lions with hits in that game, as they were just saving their offense for Game 2.
Yeah, that's a big start for the Mountain Lions, and looking to kind of come back from that first game, as we will see the first of Saxton Sorensen, who is starting at second base, will check his swing, and it'll be full. Sorensen has played in 16 games, batting .250 on the year. About 20 at-bats in those 16 games. And gets rung up. Ryder Mancuso gets the strikeout, and Sorensen clearly did not like that call.
Yeah, he was flipping his bat, was quarter of the way up the line, had to come back. Never a good feeling as a batter as you toss your bat thinking you got ball 4 and then get rung up, as Cameron Monaco is our home plate umpire here in Game 2. Daniel Muth moves up to third base with Gauman over at first.
That'll bring up Aaron Morgan, playing in center field. Started there in Game 1 as well. Recorded a 2-out triple in the second inning. And able to get a single later on in the game, but not much else, as he will watch ball number 2. Morgan's had a tough job in center field, gauging the wind, which has now switched again.
First time we've seen it blow left to right today.
And as an outfielder, anyone on the field, you're just constantly checking to make sure you know what you're doing. Those fly balls have proven to be difficult on both sides, as this one's lifted foul.
Yeah, wind always an interesting factor here at Mount Lion Park. For those of you that have not been down here to Colorado Springs, main campus at UCCS sits up above us on the hill behind us, and Mountain Lion Park, as you can see, at the base of Pulpit Rock, kind of at the bottom of the mesa, but still up above the parking lot and everything directly around it. So you get the wind coming down that bluff line and kind of swirls up in this kind of pool area, and it makes it tough for outfielders with that kind of swirling air.
And Morgan is able to draw a walk. That'll be the second walk of this game number 2, which will bring up the top of the order. Shern flew out his first time around, squares to bunt, but nothing doing. Shern, a pair of sliding plays out there in left, has made his impact known. First appearance flew out to center, but absolutely ripped it. Aaron Brackle ranged back to make the play, but Shern is definitely one of those players for CCU. Couple of stolen bases on each side, just one for each team. Don't think we saw anyone get thrown out. So we'll see what coaches decide here in game 2.
Couple of close plays, but the base runners have been on their game, getting good jumps away from first base.
That ball finds the corner. And it'll be 3-1.
Still a really comfortable hitter's count here for Shern.
Mancuso deals. Runner goes. That pitch is going to be ball number 4 and an unnecessary run for Morgan, but CCU now has 2 on with 2 out. And we'll have a talk with Mancuso, although it appears to be just that with no one warming up in the bullpen.
Yep, Mark Lee, the pitching coach for UCCS, just coming out for a quick conversation, making sure he calms his pitcher down. And Mancuso started this inning off strong, a ground out, a looking strikeout. Couple of base runners here with 2 outs.
Mancuso has appeared 8 times already in the season. Started 3, so this will be his 4th start on the year. Has pitched 25 and 2/3 innings so far in the 2022-2023 campaign. And we'll go back to Walton, who will be the next batter. Morgan stands on second. Shern on first. 2 away as Ryder Mancuso is trying to get out of this little 2-out rally here in the second. That one's inside. CCU with a pair of hits so far. 1 run in the first. And Mancuso struggling to find the zone here.
Started off strong, but has delivered at least 3 balls in the last 3 at-bats, 2 here to start the at-bat against Walton.
2 walks with 2 outs. Never a position you want to put runners on. Still get a swing there. Always dangerous. You feel like you're up when you have 2 outs and something happens. You walk somebody, someone gets a hit, strike doesn't go your way, and now you find yourself in a jam.
Got to keep the intensity up at all times on the mound.
That one will be foul. And Mancuso now ahead a little bit, 2-2. Walton singled his first time around and was able to score on the Ramos double out to left field. Mancuso misses. So we will go full. 3-2, 2 away, 2 runners on. Runners go. And that'll be 3 straight walks for the UCCS starter. And Jake, certainly not a position you want to be in, walking the bases full.
Yeah, always tough, especially here in the second inning. And deep in counts already for Mancuso. He's sitting on 39 pitches. And just for reference, in Game 1, Cole Phillip, he was through 6 innings when he hit 69 pitches and only 30 more pitches away from that. Mancuso's just in the second.
That'll bring around Jordan Medina. Dinah behind the dish, flew out to right field in the first inning, but has the pond full of ducks here in the top of the second. That pitch will go behind, and runners will all advance, and a run scores, and we are tied. Mancuso's feels like he started to struggle after getting those 2 quick outs. Got the looking strikeout as well. Should have given confidence, but that one's going to be tough.
Mancuso's just struggled to settle into games, as we talked about Phillip doing that so well into the middle innings and even up into the later innings of game 1, but it's been a tough outing thus far. The second frame for Ryder Mancuso.
It'll be 2s and a whole bunch of 2s on the board. We got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-2. Mancuso, big opportunity here to escape with little damage after walking the bases full. And gets the swing. Mancuso with a great pitch, and Stubbings will step on first as Mancuso escapes with just the 1 run. We are tied heading into the bottom of the second at Mountain Lion Park.
Beat.
And we are back here at Mountain Lion Park for Game 2 of this doubleheader. We'll be back tomorrow in action at pretty much the same time, as Keegan Schultz will lead off the inning for the Mountain Lions. In the last game, Schultz was able to hit a single in the 7th inning to score a run in that big 7th inning, where UCCS was able to put themselves in control of the game.
Everybody was involved, and that's always what you want in an offensive push, especially late in the game.
As Schultz will watch strike 1. Jake Gimble in his 2nd inning of work. This one's ripped to the right center gap, and that'll get down, and that'll be extra bases for Keegan Schultz. And a stand-up double to start off the inning. Mount Lions off to a hot start, as Schultz able to kind of drive that one out into the right center gap.
Yeah, and especially for the righty, going with the pitch, breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. Just kind of goes with the pitch, inside outs it to the other side. One hops the fence, and he's standing on second with a leadoff double.
First game, Mountain Lions had 6 doubles. And looking to kind of repeat that here, as this one's going to find some green, as Aaron Brackle will get to first base on a nice piece of hitting, and Keegan Schultz will hold up at third.
Yeah, nice throw out there from Gabe Ramos. We've seen him show off that arm ability a couple times today and forcing a stop sign from Dave Hadjick at third base on Keegan Schultz, keeping this game tied at 2, but first and third, nobody out.
Aaron Brackle, that'll be his second hit of the day, able to double back in that big 7th inning of Game 1, which will bring around the shortstop, bottom of the order, Ronan Hella. Hella first pitch swinging will go foul. In Game 1, had a single again in that 7th inning. It felt like everybody kind of got in on the action. Had a walk earlier and scored 2 runs, but yeah, big piece of that, of this defensive side of the coin for the Mountain Lions. They'll rip this one into left. Schultz will tag. The throw will be nowhere near in time. And the Mountain Lions regain their lead 3-2.
So doing a job for Ronan Hella, getting another RBI. He had one in Game 1 as well, as he brought home a run in that 7th inning with a single. Again, puts his team ahead.
This one's lifted high and central. Catcher can't see it. Third baseman will make the play, as it looked like catcher kind of lost that one in the sun. Tough throwing off that mask, but that'll be an out for Hayden Iverson. Not something that happens often today.
Yeah, he was a hitting machine, especially of the extra base variety. 3 doubles in that first game for UCCS today, but retired here in the second.
Brackle remains on first. That'll bring around McCully Sayre. Brackle will take off. Nice throw from the catcher, but not in time. I think most of the Cougar defense started running in to take their at-bats, but Brackle able to slide in under the tag.
Yeah, and the throw definitely beat Brackle, but was high, so able to make his way and slide underneath it for UCCS, moving himself into scoring position for Brackle, his 4th stolen base of the season for the Mountain Lion outfielder.
Sayre in the batter's box now. Sayre has 3 straight hits if you count the last game. Singled in his first time around this game. And was able to score on that Steinberger double. See if he can bring in his buddy out there at second base. Pickoff move. Not quite in time.
Nice daylight play, though, there. Made it close. Nice swipe tag. Put down by Saxton Sorensen coming in from second base.
It'll be the first stolen base. As McCully Sayre gives us deja vu from that at bat in the first game where he fouled off. Felt like 10, 20 pitches there.
That was quite the at bat. Unfortunately, wasn't able to win the battle, but definitely a good display in extending the at bat.
Gimbel takes his time and will deal. That'll be 2s across the board. Gimbel will deal. Sayre will bloop this one. It's got a chance to find some green, but that'll be the right fielder ranging over to make the play. Ramos will end the second inning effort for the Mountain Lions, but not before the Mountain Lions grab a run to regain the lead. It'll be Ryder Mancuso back pitching just after this. to the top of the third inning here at Mountain Lion Park. Wind has picked up a little bit, blowing left to right now, as Gabe Ramos will step into the box. Ramos doubled in his first at-bat and was able to drive in a run. And we'll start off the inning here for the Cougars. Ramos has had I wouldn't say a tough day, but certainly an active one out in right field, having to come in for a number of fly balls and make some plays. It was like everybody across the Diamonds had an active day.
Yeah, Ramos showing off his arm there in the bottom half of the second inning, making sure that the Mountain Lions had to earn that go-ahead run.
That'll be I believe, the fifth walk of the game for Ryder Mancuso. And now we'll see a white jersey out in the bullpen for the Mountain Lions, as Gabe Ramos stands on first with a leadoff walk. Major Maiden into the box for the Cougars. Maiden was one of 5 batters to receive a walk.
Appears to be Hunter Owens down there, the big lefty for UCCS in the bullpen, getting loose.
1-0 to Major. And that one's high, and Steinberger will come out to have a word with the pitcher. We talked a lot in that first game about being able to turn the page, and Mancuso's certainly got a big task here with 5 walks already on the day.
Yeah, and Mancuso definitely able to get the job done here for UCCS on the mound, just kind of up in his head the last half of the second inning and the start of this third.
And it's funny, he's only allowed 2 hits, but quite a few base runners, able to limit the damage thus far.
It's an outside strike call there. Sometimes that's all you need to get back on track, as Mancuso just has to trust his stuff and go after these Cougar hitters.
Nice play by Stubbings to keep that ball in front of him.
Could have been trouble if it got past.
Interesting rule change in the MLB this year where you're only allowed to check on the runner once and at bat, I believe. Makes for an interesting ability for runners to steal bases more. Certainly makes the game more exciting rather than, you'll see a pitcher check on a guy 3-4 times in at bat.
Something you will only see at the college level nowadays.
Maiden, big swing, and the count goes full.
It's part of the MLB rule changes we discussed earlier. You can only disengage from the rubber 2 times in at bat. That includes pickoffs.
Maiden will drive this one to left center. Brackle strolls over and makes the catch out in center field. And Maiden is retired as the first out of this third inning.
A long out for UCCS, but another drop in the bucket confidence-wise for Ryder Mancuso, knowing he can use that defense behind him, doesn't have to try and do it himself and dodge contact at the plate.
So we'll see Luke Thompson, the DH today in this second game, flew out to right. Mancuso's been putting those pitches a little bit outside on the fastball. And CCU will certainly make him prove it. Mancuso, a couple of walks thus far, but has limited the damage. This one's ripped into the right center gap. Beautiful piece of hitting from Thompson. Runners will all advance, and that'll be a sliding double as Luke Thompson records his first hit of this second game.
And again, a good piece of hitting there from Thompson, just staying back, ripping that one into the gap. Brackle was able to cut it off before it got to the wall, but good speed from Thompson. And he ends up on second base. I think we're going to get that pitching change.
So we'll see what the word is first. As you mentioned earlier, likes to, just see what the situation is, give his guy in the bullpen a chance to have a couple more heaves. Can't ask for a much better day than this. Watch some baseball. Got our amazing camera crew here getting some great shots of Pulpit Rock, Pikes Peak, and a fantastic doubleheader this afternoon.
It looks like it will be Owens. Kind of a conversation still happening, but Owens ready to go. They're going to make the call.
We will return in just a minute with a new pitcher for the Mountain Lions. That will be the end of the day for Ryder Mancuso after 5 walks and a big double there from Thompson. We'll bring around the lefty, and that'll be Hunter Owens, number 45 on the bump. Mancuso, we won't close the book quite yet, as he is responsible for the runners on second and third. That'll be under his name. This one's bloop to right field from Flores. In to score are both of the runners for the Cougars, as CCU will now have the lead from the Flores single.
And that will put Ryder Mancuso on the wrong side of things for UCCS, as well as close the book on him. He goes 2 1/3, 3 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts. He faced just 15 Cougars through 57 pitches. Not what the Mountain Lions were looking for from their Game 2 starter, but they are behind the first time today. We'll see how they respond.
That'll be Sexton Sorensen, struck out his first time, facing lefty Owens. Owens, a Colorado native, has appeared 5 times so far this season for the Mountain Lions. The last one was just a couple days ago against Northern Colorado, pitched just 2/3 of an inning.
Kind of pitcher by committee, the strategy in that game, as I believe there's 13 overall pitchers used in that game. The Mountain Lions using 8 pitchers in that game, and Hunter Owens coming in towards the end, trying to get the final 3 outs, only got 2. They brought in Vander Hodges to make sure that win was recorded on Tuesday.
Flores will advance to second on the pass ball. As Owens had an unfortunate setup with a runner on second and third, and just that little bloop hit from Flores was able to bring home those 2 runs. As the Cougars now in command. Sorensen fouls that one off, and we'll go again at 1-2. Just a reminder, this game will only be 7 innings, as the game yesterday got called due to blustery conditions, to say the least. You mentioned being able to tough to drive in Colorado Springs.
Yes, my little Honda Civic was getting blown all over the highway.
That's a staple of Colorado Springs, as I'm coming to find out.
Yes, it's not for the faint of heart down here along the foothills, just about 30 miles from the base of Pikes Peak.
Sorensen 1-2. Steinberger getting a workout today behind home plate, as we will go at 2-2. Mountains make for some beautiful conditions and beautiful views, but certainly feel the impact of with the weather, and one of the sunniest places, though, which is certainly a positive.
300 days of sunshine year in and year out, and one of those days today, a beautiful afternoon for baseball.
Sorensen now at 3-2. Flores still on second. Owens deals. And that'll be the 6th walk of the game for the Mountain Lions. First for Owens. And we'll have runners on first and second for the bottom of the order in the center fielder, Aaron Morgan.
UCCS pitching perspective here, just can't get too fancy with it. Just try and throw strikes, doesn't matter how, and use your defense. A lot of these pitchers trying to do it themselves on the mound and working into some tough counts. Just go after these hitters, try and pound the zone, and use the defense behind you. There's 7 players behind you for a reason.
Yeah, we saw that especially in game 1. Phillip just able to dominate, but really going at the batters, being aggressive early. This one's ripped to center field. Brackle will make the play. So a lot of hard hit balls so far for the Cougars, as that ball will keep the runners where they are, but Cougars have hit the ball hard in this to start the second game, but a little bit to show for it for sure, but I bet they're hoping they can get a couple of them to land.
And a perfect example there. Always get a little jumpy when you get hard contact off the bat, but easy play out there in center field for Aaron Brackle to slide over, make the play, and for UCCS, now down. That's the name of the game.
A bunt here from Shern, and everybody's safe. So a bunt, an infield single for Shern, will keep the bases loaded for Walton, who's hot to start this second game. We saw a couple of bunts thrown down in the first game by CCU. Able to extend the inning with that one.
Bunt singles, not too uncommon here at Mountain Lion Park, but beautifully executed there from Shern. And hit by pitch is going to score the run.
Walton took that one off the front leg, it looked like, and that'll be Flores around to score. Sorensen to third, Sorensen to third, and Shern to second. And the catcher, Medina, will come around. Chance to bat around here from the Cougars as the next man up, Ramos, led off the inning. Like you mentioned in that first game, the hit by pitch is definitely a problem, and the walks starting to pile up here.
Yeah, and the Mountain Lions just kind of hurting themselves at this point. See if they can get the run support back, but not able to do their part on the mound as the pitching staff for UCCS here in Game 2.
Diana will attempt to get his first hit of this second game. Poke that one foul. Diana flew out to right, struck out in his first two plate appearances. But a big opportunity with pond full of ducks here in the third inning. That one's hot shot to the third baseman, and he'll step on third base as Hunter Owens comes in to relieve, but damage done in the top of the third as CCU scores 3 runs. We'll be back with Mountain Lion offense. So it'll be the 3-hitter Casey Campbell to start things off in the bottom of the third as the home team is down a pair of runs early in game number 2. Campbell flew out to center field in that first inning. Was able to have a nice little showing out in right field in game 1. But Mountain Lions will need their entire team here. Start getting some hits.
UCCS softball wins their second game 13-5 as You see a couple of the softball athletes making their way over now to support their counterparts on the baseball team here.
Campbell and myself thought that was ball number 4, but it was called a strike, and after a foul ball, we'll go full. Campbell rips this one, and it'll be right to the center fielder again. A lot of hard hit balls so far in game 2, but not a lot of them finding any open space.
Second straight at bat, Casey Campbell gets good contact but flies out to center field.
That'll bring around Caleb Stubbings, who wastes no time, sends that one between the third baseman and shortstop, and Stubbings is aboard with a single.
Make it a 7-game hitting streak now for Caleb Stubbings. Leads the Mountain Lions.
So we'll see Evan Steinberger, who has the biggest hit thus far for UCCS with a double in the first inning, able to score Iverson and Sayre on that hit. Steinberger behind the dish as well. It's a favorable matchup with the right-handed Gimbel.
The only defensive change from game 1 that we've seen in the lineup for UCCS, Evan Steinberger slotting in. Tyler Richardson had himself a game behind the plate in game 1.
Steinberger will watch strike 1. As Gimbel looks in for the sign. That one's fouled back, and we'll go at 2-2. Gimbel's had a solid start thus far, a couple of runs, but felt like he's been in somewhat control. Pair of doubles, doing all the damage for the Mountain Lions. Vander Hodges will be in the batter's box. Steinberger down on strikes, and that'll be the second out of the inning for Gimbel. Great piece of pitching to get the right-handed Steinberger.
Went with the breaking ball, got the chase from Steinberger as it fell out of the zone. And 2 outs, runner on. It's up to Vander Hodges.
I just watched a strike 1. Ended the inning grounding out to the second baseman in the first. Has the runner on first in Stubbings as he checks that strike. Excuse me, that pitch for a ball. Hodges. Smart to lay off of that pitch, as tasty as it might have looked, wanting to poke that one out.
Tough to lay off of those high fastballs. Hodges does it there.
This one's lifted high. It's playable, certainly. Tough spot, though, and that'll drop as Vander Hodges will go to second, and Stubbings will go all the way around to score. And that'll be 3 bases for Vander Hodges. Certainly a hit, but we'll have to see how that one is scored. That ball just kind of drifted over, wind blowing left to right, and finds some green space there to score the run to make it 5-4.
It is an RBI triple as nobody touched it out there, so it can't be an error. And powering his way all the way around to third, Hodges, RBI triple.
Certainly a one of the more unique plays we've seen today.
A couple of those situations dropping in no man's land, or even a couple times outfielders losing the ball in the sun.
Speaks to, for some of the young players who might be watching, to always be aware of the situation. 2 outs, and Stubbings runs. That ball's lifted deep by Keegan Schultz. That ball's drifting. And the center fielder unable to make the play, and Schultz is heading for third, and he'll be in there. The ball gets by, stays in play.
Just barely. That was right towards that door. If that went in the dugout, that would have been Little League home run for Keegan Schultz. Unable to make the play out there was Aaron Morgan in center field. And tough break for CCU.
Yeah, we're tied up here. It was just Stubbings on first and a pop fly to right turned into a triple. That hit will be recorded as a fielding error by Morgan out in center. This one's lifted back towards us. As Schultz will be aboard on third base now, and a chance to take the lead here with Aaron Brackle at the plate.
As you mentioned, it's not often you see a 3-base error go down in the book, but that's the case there, as deep in center field, unable to make the play for Morgan.
And that was no simple error, though, out in center field. That ball was hit hard. I got a chopper here. Nice play from the third baseman. We'll get Brackle at first. And that'll be a nice play from Flores at third, able to keep this game tied. But UCCS, with a little bit of luck there, able to tie this game up in the bottom of the third. We'll be right back. Gabe Ramos swings and sends a drive to left. That ball will bounce over for a ground rule double as Hayden Iverson unable to keep the ball in play. And a leadoff double for Gabe Ramos. He's having himself a game. Already a double in the first inning, walked in the third, and now starts the fourth inning off with a huge hit.
Again, for Hunter Owens, you just have to stay after it, and he gave up a couple runs in his first half inning of work. See how he responds here after the opening ground rule double. Nice curveball there, doesn't get the call.
That'll be Maiden in the left-handed batter's box. It'll be his third appearance at the dish, walked in his first at-bat. and flew out to center in the third. Nice pitch there from Owens for strike one. Ronan Hella mirroring movements of Ramos at second. Always remember that it's a lot of fun to be had out on the baseball field, long days. Guys got to make their own motivation, create their own momentum.
Always got to find a way to stay locked in. That's the tricky part of a long breath game like baseball is.
You're looking at 2 double headers back-to-back days. Tough on the body to make sure you're prepared, but also mentally to stay locked in, like you mentioned.
Especially for those position players out there, trying to find a way to make sure you're ready for each and every pitch.
And Major Maiden will reach on a walk. That is the 7th, 8th walk of this game. So a big issue here for Dave Hadjick's squad in game number 2. First game was a ton of strikes from Phillip. And we'll see what Owens can do with the runner on first and second. This one's ripped into center field. This one's going to be extra bases over Brackle's head. And it'll be just one base for everybody, as that ball was hit so hard that Brackle was able to get the ball in quick enough. And everyone really only advanced one base.
Oh, the base runners in Ramos and Maiden had to make sure that that ball either hit the fence or found grass, and kind of had to hold up just enough. And like you said, Brackle moves well out there, able to get to it quickly, get the ball back in. Just one base for everybody. Nobody comes around to score, but nobody out. Bases loaded as Flores tries his hand.
Luke Thompson had that long single. As this one's ripped to right field, this one looks a little more playable for Campbell, and he'll make the play. All the runners will tag. And that'll be a sacrifice fly as as Ramos is around to score. And Flores will give visiting Cougars the lead. That ball was just deep enough for everybody to advance to another bag.
Credit to Casey Campbell out there, going back, having to turn around a couple of times, also fighting the sun, making sure he secured that baseball.
This one's hammered to left. That'll be down for a single. Iverson comes up throwing. They got the runner at third held up. And we'll have a pickle as the runner will trip and Steinberger will tag out Thompson, who comes up limping.
Yeah. Not a good look for Thompson as he hobbles back to his dugout with pained look on his face. Smart base running, though, from Sorensen, who moves up to second base. Will be an RBI single for him, but Thompson, who trying to stretch it into 2 bases, gets thrown out.
Kind of an awkward play there, as looked like cleats kind of got held up in the turf or something there. But that'll be another run. Owens struggling a little bit here in the 4th as we will head to the bottom of the order with Aaron Morgan.
Good old 7.52 put out on Luke Thompson.
Always a unique time trying to figure out how to keep the book.
Who touched that ball again?
Big shout out to our fantastic statistics team over here, able to make those calls, make those plays. Certainly something I'm not well equipped to make, but they're doing a great job.
We got Alex Bunker, the graduate assistant usually in charge of the men's basketball program here at UCCS, but the men's team in their off season helping out with the book at baseball as well.
Owens will deal 2-0. Big hack there from Morgan. Morgan walked his first time and was able to advance all the way around and score on a wild pitch. Flew out to center in the third inning, which saw 3 runs for the Cougars. As that pitch will find the zone for strike number 2.
Nice job battling back into this count. Hunter Owens, who dropped back, fell behind early in the count, fighting back to even it at 2 with 2 outs here.
Sorensen on second. And Owens will deal. Not quite sure what happened there, but looks like
it's a cleared ball. Is taking too long on the mound. Is Hunter Owens on that one, 3-2.
And that proves to be costly as Morgan will advance to first base on, I believe, the 8th walk, and we might see a pitching change here.
It does look like some outline was warming up. They're jogging in. So I believe that's Garrett Shriver. It's going to come on for UCCS.
Owens will hit the lumber, and we will be right back with a new pitcher for the Mountain Lions right after this. So it'll be the top of the order here in the 4th inning for the Cougars as Garrett Shriver will enter the game, a junior out of Broomfield, Colorado. Right-handed pitcher has appeared in 9 games thus far. It's a little bit higher ERA than he's probably hoping. Will take on the 2 runners that Hunter Owens allowed in for him.
Yeah, It's close to what the Mountain Lions have to a flamethrower coming out of the bullpen is Garrett Shriver. Likes to use his fastball to overwhelm those batters, as you see him going to that heater early in this one, as he inherits first and second, 2 outs.
This one's ripped to short. Ronan Hella unable to make the play. And that will score a run as the ball sneaks by the third baseman. And all the runners will advance again. So a tough break there as Hella was unable to come up with the play. Stern is aboard with the single and will go to second on the miscue. And it'll be Sorensen who is around to score. Morgan will stand on third now as we come around to Walt. Tough break there for Shriver, who had made a great pitch, and that ball was just hit too hard.
Still working out what that one's going to be called. It looks like they are going to give an error to Ronan Hella. And so a two-base error, so not an earned run that comes through for Sorensen. It's 8-5.
Little miscues there from the Mount Lions as all the runners are able to advance, and now no more force out as well. Three runs in the third. Now 3 runs in the fourth from the Cougars. Happening with 2 outs. It'll be Walton, who singled his first time around, was walked in the second inning, and was hit by a pitch in the third, who will now have the chance to tack on a few more runs as he has 2 runners in scoring position. Shriver down 3-0 early, will throw strike 1. Walton will watch ball number 4 as the bases are juiced once again, as we'll see the 3-spot hitter Medina. And like you mentioned, just not being aggressive, not throwing those strikes has been a real game changer here in game number 2.
Yeah, and the Mountain Lions pitching staff, they just have to keep that confidence and know that you don't have to do it alone. There's, like we said earlier, 7 players behind you for a reason. You got to use them. And unfortunately for Shriver, he did get out number 3, but unable to handle it at shortstop was Ronan Hella as he misread the bounce. And here we are in a sticky situation for UCCS.
Shriver looks in with an 1-0 count. That ball will pop by. And another run is in as Shriver throws the pitch low and Steinberger unable to keep it in front of him. And that'll be a run scored by Morgan. Shern will advance to third base, and Walton will stand on second. Steinberger behind the dish has had a tough afternoon as there's been a number of pitches in the dirt. Done a good job so far to keep as many as he can in front, but that one unable to. And that'll be another walk as Medina will reach first to load the bases. CCU working counts, getting big hits here in the top of the 4th. So we'll see Gabe Ramos for the second time this inning. Ramos had a double in his first at-bat to lead off. Doubled in the first inning and walked in the third. So a very solid start for the right fielder, who can do some real damage here as the Cougars are up by 4 runs. That one's ripped foul and into the bullpen of the Mountain Lions. A lot more action in the second game, even though the score of the first game was 10-3. Did feel like it was just a little bit lower scoring, but just that one inning it felt like.
Yeah, good pace in that first game as well, as both pitchers were doing their thing. And between Caro and Cole Phillip, we were moving right along, and both were on their game, good command of all their pitches. And this one a little bit different, as the offense is proving to get the better of the pitching staffs on both sides so far. Haven't gone a half inning without a run scored.
And that'll be it for CCU in the fourth, as Garrett Shriver is able to get Ramos down on strikes, but not before 4 runs scored after it was tied going into the fourth. The Cougars now lead 9-5. Ronan Hella watches that one go by his noggin there to start off the bottom of the fourth.
Chin music.
Quite the start. And he will lay off strike number 1.
Trying to push him back a little bit, Gimbel is.
Hella flew out to left field.
Sack fly, got an RBI.
As that one comes back to us. We really need to let us make some plays here. I don't know if maybe we relocate to the roof.
One day, it'll hit just right, come off the top of the net. Today, I don't think is going to be the day, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm going to be the one protecting my coffee. You'll be the one making bare hand grabs.
It's all good.
Hella fouls that one back as well. UCCS down 4 runs, looking to get things started. As that one will be fouled off again. We'll go at 1-2. Gimbel has been somewhat solid, just able to keep the runs low. as Hella lines that one foul again. Game has certainly crawled along here in game number 2, like you mentioned. That pitch will be a repeat of the first pitch of the at-bat.
Didn't get as much break as he wanted to on it. You could hear, for those of us in the park, Gimbal kind of exclaiming as that one didn't get as much spin on it as he would have liked.
Ella fouls that one back. And we'll go at 2-2. This one's lifted high. Might stay in play. And it will. Third baseman over to make the play. That'll be Flores shifting over to retire Hella as the first out of the bottom of the 4th.
Again, the wind switching directions, not helping out Ronan Hella, as usually that one would get up into the airstream and continue to blow out to the third base side, but this time it's blowing from left to right, keeping it in the park and allowing for Flores to make the play over there at third.
I always tell my guys, when you hit the ball, make sure you foul it off, wherever the wind's going.
If only it were that easy.
Iverson lifts this one, and that'll stay in the infield. That'll be a tough play. But it will be the second out as Flores has his second put out of the inning. Gimbal looks at his third baseman happily as he is able to get 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Some great music choices from our booth up here. That pitch will hit Macaulay Sayre as he launches the bat back towards Stubbings, who fends it off with a nice parry. Macaulay Sayre reaches for his second time of the game after singling in the first inning.
I don't think Macaulay Sayre knew he was going to get his fencing practice in today.
That was certainly a shot. Campbell will rip that one foul.
Just foul on that first base side. Not quite making it to the bag. Would have been big trouble for CCU.
As the reserve will get a speedy jog in to grab the baseball. Campbell has flown out twice to center field. Both of those have been absolute rips. But nothing doing as they can't find open space. Now one finds an outside corner, and it'll be strike 2. Pitch in the name of the game, and the first of the doubleheader, and now a lot more action on the offensive side. As Campbell thought about that one, but the appeal falls on deaf ears.
Nobody down there on that third baseline is Daniel Muth, that infield umpire up the middle right now with a runner on first.
Campbell will foul that one back. Gimbal with 2 quick outs. And hit Sayre. That one's lifted to center by Campbell. That'll be playable. It's drifting a little, but nothing doing as Morgan makes the play and retires Casey Campbell, as that's the first half inning without a run, as the visiting Cougars lead 9-5.
Major Maiden leading things off here to start the 5th inning of play. His team up 4 runs, 9-5, the lead for CCU. Garrett Shriver still on the mound for UCCS. He delivers high strike that's fouled back for strike 1 on Maiden. Next pitch, this one's lifted, could be trouble. Looks like it's going to cheat foul, though, and it does bounce just on the outside part of the fence there in the left field corner. 0-2. Shriver trying to settle in after a tough start. He got a ground ball rollover, but Ronan Hella unable to come up with it as runs did come in because of that error. This one on the ground up the middle. This time it's Sayre. Nice pickup going the other way. He throws across his body for the first out. And just what the doctor ordered for UCCS, getting a quick out here to start the inning.
Major Maiden up to that point had accumulated 3 walks on the day, 1 hit by pitch, so an intimidating presence, but unable to get that one through.
Though there were runs scored, all of the runs that came across once Shriver came on were the responsibility of Hunter Owen, so he still is clean in the run department for UCCS. Hunter Owens finishes his day with 3 runs in, all earned. Is that one called a strike on the outside half, kind of a 50-50 pitch. Luke Thompson is nice gust of wind blows. Make sure I'm paying attention to the game program back into my hands. 1-1. This one's hit well into right field over his Campbell. He'll slide and make the catch. Kind of shielding his eyes at the last minute as ran back up onto him. But 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th inning for UCCS defensively. It'll bring up Bodie Flores.
Campbell's been excellent for me all day out in right field, just making plays in a day where we've seen a lot of balls drop. He's been able to record a lot of putouts.
It's always tough when you're battling the sun there, and as the sun starts to set here in the afternoon, that sun is just in his sight line to home plate. Always tough. 1-0, that one swung through, foul tipped for strike 1. And it's 1-1 now on Bodie Flores. He's 1 for 3, a ground out, a single, and a run scored, as well as a sac fly. As this one's hit well to center field, this one is going to get over the fence. A solo shot for Bodie Flores, and he gives his team a 10-5 lead. For Flores, it's his first big fly of the season, and another RBI across for him, his second of the day.
The long ball, not much of a factor so far today. That's just the first homer. We've seen a couple that have hit the wall or bounced to it, but that one just cleared it.
And it's tough in center field there. That batter's eye is in play here at UCCS, so if it hits at any point on that big green square out there, it still is in play, but sneaking it just to the left of that batter's eye was Flores, and CCU has doubled up UCCS here. The 5th inning, 10-5 the lead. 0-1 pitch, that one just outside, doesn't get the call, does Garrett Shriver, and it's 1-1.
Flores has been solid all season, but able to finally get on board with that homer as his first.
Nice golf swing there. Coming up empty is Sorensen. 1-2. As it looked like UCCS had a chance to get through an inning cleanly themselves for the first time, and a solo shot as that one just outside. 2-2 now.
We're going to kick it to a replay of celebration of that home run from Flores.
Nice little fist pump as he went around. Quick to be met by his teammates in the dugout. 2-2 on Sorensen. The pitch swung on and missed. Oh, excuse me. It was fouled into Steinberger. It looked like Sorensen came up empty, but what I thought was the slap of the leather, behind the plate was actually the crack of the bat, and Steinberger is going to take a little walk, and Cameron Monaco behind the plate is going to dust off home plate, make sure he gets a few extra moments to gather himself. Kind of that unspoken understanding between umpire and catcher. We'll do it again at 2-2.
Spend a lot of time behind the dish with one another, have conversations, and look out for each other.
Another 2-2. Fastball inside. Pulling his hands back with Sorensen, and the count will run full. You always see if the umpire gets clipped, the catcher will go out and kind of hand the ball to the pitcher. Usually you would see a mound visit at that point, but now that those are counted, you don't see that as often, as that one's fought off foul once again. Paul Koss, the head skipper for CCU, making the grab in front of his dugout. Three and two now, 2 outs on Sorensen. Payoff pitch just below the knees. Steinberger looking for a frame, trying to steal that pitch low, doesn't get the call, and a 2-out walk puts Sorensen on for Aaron Morgan.
And that will be 11 walks for this Mountain Lion pitching. Certainly not a statistic you're looking for.
Yeah, you never want to hand out free bases, and UCCS has given out about as many as they've given up in the run category, as strike one delivered on the outside half there to Aaron Morgan, 0-1. UCCS pitching staff trying to clean things up here in the midseason, as they've had a rough start to conference play. Looked like they were doing a good job of that in game one with Cole Phillip. That one's in the dirt. The throw to second is there. Oh, just safe. Perfectly placed on the first base side of second from Evan Steinberger, but able to slide just in. Sorensen has himself a stolen base.
Steinberger did a great job to keep that in front of him, but throw just a little late.
1-1 at the plate now on Morgan. The pitch, that one just misses inside, 2-1. Morgan flew out to center his second time up, has walked twice other than that. 0-for-1 officially. 2-1. This one's bounced. This is going to be foul as well. Again, Paul Koss making the play.
These coaches, they got something to them. They definitely got a handle.
Want to make sure that they let their players know that they still got it. 2-2 at the plate. Aaron Morgan, the runner on second. Sorensen, who walked, moved up a wild pitch. 2-2. Curveball got him. Great movement on that pitch from Garrett Shriver, but a home run given up as Bodie Flores finds the fence in left field, doubles up the Mountain Lions. It's 10-5 as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Caleb Stubbings, who singled his last time up in the third inning, extending his hit streak to 7 straight games. That leads UCCS hitters. Lead things off 4, 5, and 6 due to the plate in the inning for UCCS. And make it back-to-back singles as knocking that first pitch breaking ball into left field and a leadoff base runner for the Mountain Lions as they have work to do if they want to get back in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially shortened game, 7 innings. So going to have to mount this comeback, and Stubbings says, I'll get things started.
It'll be Evan Steinberger, who has a double, 2 RBIs. Was back in the first inning, his first time up, then struck out swinging his last time. He's behind 0-1 here to start his third plate appearance. 0-1. That one's lifted. Sliding over in left field is Shern. He'll make the grab. Back to first base is Stubbings. And 1 out, 1 on here for Vander Hodges.
Now batting third baseman, number 34, Vander Hodges.
Keegan Schultz makes his way on deck. He will bat, barring a double play here. As Stubbings takes it conservatively. Not big speedster over there on first base is Stubbings, so be surprised if he tried to move up.
Though you got to give him credit when he scored back in the third inning. Hodges dropped one into right field, and Stubbings scored all the way from first.
Made sure he was on his horse, as he can get around if he needs to, but typically he's not a get-up-and-go type of base runner, so we'll keep an eye on him. Won't count it out. 1-1. This one off the foot of Gimbel, and they're calling it a foul ball as it hit Vander Hodges. There's confusion. So a balk called. And I'm very lost, I'll be honest. Not really sure. Yeah, okay. So 1-1. Balk. Not sure why. But now on second base, Caleb Stubbings does find a way to move up. And 1-1 still on the plate for Vander Hodges.
Certainly not the most traditional of plays, but a runner advances.
The signaling from the umpiring crew was not very clear, we'll say that, as this one's hit out to right field. Trying to move up. Good arm from Ramos, but sliding into third safely is Caleb Stubbings. 2 outs, but a run is 90 feet away for Keegan Schultz.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 10, Keegan Schultz.
So Hodges doing a job to move the runner over, and first pitch getting plunked is Keegan Schultz. That'll bring up Aaron Brackle. Had a big extra base hit in game 1 to score some runs. It's part of that big 7th inning push for UCCS. We'll see if he can do something similar here.
Gimbel's been solid so far. A ton of flyouts. Just one of those pitchers that guys want to take deep, and been able to get 11 flyouts so far in this second game.
Ball 1 delivered to Brackle at the plate. He is 1 for 1 with a single, a stolen base, and a ground out. 1-0. Nice curveball left over the plate, but drops back in. Locked up Brackle. 1-1. Again, Gimbel ready. The 1-1. This one inside outed, and that's going to be out number 3. Would have been a double play, but 2 outs, so just 1 put out for Major Maiden over there at first base, and that ends the inning and the threat for UCCS. The leadoff single from Stubbings. He is stranded at third base, and we go to the 6th inning. Mountain Lions down 5. It'll be Frankie Shern leading things off for Colorado Christian here to start their half of the 6th inning. Mountain Lion Park, they lead it 10-5. Alongside my partner, Brian Geenan, I'm Jake Ross. We thank you for being with us today for this doubleheader. As this one straight up in the infield. Looks like it's going to be Ronan Hella that'll shuffle over and make the grab. And that'll be out number 1.
Number 5, Hayden Walton.
For all you March Madness fans, Final Four underway. San Diego State, Florida Atlantic at halftime. The Owls, the Cinderella team, 9 seed in the Final Four, lead it 40-33 at the break.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out Iowa women's basketball last night with one of the most classic March Madness games I've ever seen. Caitlin Clark dropping 41 points. Just an unbelievable athlete, unbelievable player. And
Caitlin Clark, she is a different breed.
they'll have a shot against LSU in the final. It'll be tomorrow.
The 0-2, that one just misses outside. And, yeah, that Iowa women's basketball team, South Carolina as well, they are the real deal.
Yeah, ending South Carolina's insane winning streak was
Perfect season on the line
the
for
Hawkeyes.
South Carolina. Shriver still out there for UCCS, 2-2 on Walton. That one just misses low, right where Steinberger wanted it, though. Perfectly executed. Fortunately, the slider does not get the chase out of the hand of Shriver. 3-2, 1 out. No one on for CCU. The payoff. This bounce foul will do it again.
That's the best time of year, in my opinion. You know, the sun's starting to come out. I'm from Wisconsin, so it's a little more like this is when the sun actually comes out. But you got March Madness. You got the start of baseball season. College baseball's in full swing. Just a fantastic time of year.
Yes, can't stress that enough. Both NBA and NHL seasons. Ooh, that was right there. But both those seasons starting to come down the stretch as well. Lots of hockey fans in this part of the world nowadays with the Avalanche doing as well as they have the past couple of years. Reigning Stanley Cup champions starting to heat back up as they've got a big one today. The top of the Central Division against the Dallas Stars. That'll be this evening. Definitely be channel hopping going on in my house. Final Four action, some NHL hockey, third day of the MLB season. Colorado Rockies, best team in baseball.
Well,
Hey, man, got to take them as they come. We got to enjoy our success while it lasts here in Colorado from the baseball standpoint. But as we're paying attention here, taking off, out, I believe. Did he hold on to the ball? Yes, out at second base. Trying to move up was Caden Walton. And he is cut down trying to swipe second. Nice play behind the plate by Evan Steinberger, staying with that one as it bounced away.
unclear if Hella got him the first time around on that tag, but Walton kind of slid a little bit far, as can tend to happen on this turf.
1-2 is a swing and a miss from Medina as he's battling once again. So that one's on the ground. This will be a diving, I don't know why. Vander Hodges decided that was his baseball. Ronan Hella was there to make the play. And I guess flashing the leather, 10-5, doesn't really matter, but a infield hit for Medina as he is aboard with 2 outs.
I'll say this, it was a beautiful diving stop, and fortunately tough to come up and make that throw.
I got to be honest, I've seen a lot of baseball. I've never seen a third baseman take an easy put out away from the shortstop like that. But hey, we'll see if it comes back to haunt UCCS or not. Ball one on Gabe Ramos. He has a pair of doubles, one of the ground rule variety. He is 2 for 3 with a walk and 2 runs scored, as well as an RBI himself. Big Baltimore chop, no one's at first. Shriver, good communication with Stubbings, switches places and covers first, and that is out number 3. The interesting decision, we'll call it, from Vander Hodges ends up not mattering for UCCS, and the 3-1 putout, ends the inning for the Mountain Lions. 10-5. We're on the way to the bottom of the 6th. Nine, 1, and 2 due up in the inning for UCCS, with Ronan Hella leading things off. Sacrifice fly, his first time up. RBI for him, as he had an RBI as well in game 1. 2 overall on the day. He takes for strike 1. Second offering, that one just misses below the knees, 1-1. Popped out foul territory his last time up. 1-1, again low, 2-1.
This will be Gimbel's third time out of 7 pitching appearances that he's pitched more than 5 innings.
2-1, that one's bounced back to the screen foul, and it'll even the count at 2 as the wind, once again, just to update you on the new wind direction, going straight out to center field. Nice and gradual as this one's knocked past a diving Flores. And a leadoff single for Ronan Hella, his first hit of game 2. And he's aboard for Hayden Iverson. Nice effort by Bodie Flores over there at third base. Couldn't quite get to it.
Mountain Lions led off last inning with a single as well, but unable to bring in a runner.
Caleb Stubbings ending up getting stranded at third. And this one, again, the wind's going to hold it, but Flores misreading it. And 0-1 as Iverson, new life at the plate.
Always look easy from our vantage point, but just brutal when the wind pushes it a little bit or you're not aware of where you are on the field. Those can be brutal.
Absolutely. 0-1 pitch. This one's a hung curveball, and sitting on that one, Iverson. This one's back and over the fence. A 2-run shot for Hayden Iverson, and the Mountain Lions are within 3. For Iverson, it's his 3rd home run of the season, and he gets 2 runs back for UCCS.
Iverson super hot in that first game. Had a rough start to the second game, but hits an absolute frozen rope out to left as that one clears the fence easily.
2 RBIs for Iverson. He adds to his big day at the plate. a couple of RBIs as well in game one as he was able to plate a bunch of runs, scoring 3 himself, 3 RBIs in game one to go along with his 3 doubles. And an outside ball delivered to open the at-bat to Macaulay Sayre. Next pitch, again, a curveball, letting that one drop in for a strike as Sayre wants to see some pitches. 1-1. That one outside, 2-1.
That home run from Iverson really breathed life back into the stadium a little bit. You can tell it's starting to pick up.
Wind definitely helping him on that one, as we said, blowing straight out to center field, got caught up and continued to fly out. 2-2 here on Sayre. He's yet to swing the bat in this appearance. This time he does, and he lifts it to center field. Out and settling underneath it is Morgan for out number 1. And that'll bring up Casey Campbell. Nobody on, 1 out. Casey Campbell, his first time up, flew out to center field. Came up his second time, flew out to center field again. And back in the 4th inning, may come as a surprise, but he flew out to center field a 3rd time. So that one's on the ground to second base. Up with it is Sorensen playing in short right field. And 2 pitches for out number 2 to Campbell, but he didn't fly out to center field this time, so he's making progress. And that'll bring up Stubbings. Back-to-back singles his last 2 times to the plate. He flew out to right his first time. First pitch from Gimbel, fastball is bounced behind the plate, 0-1.
Stubbings just always feels composed and relaxed when he's in the batter's box. Tell a lot of hits to his name this year.
0-1. This one's hit high in the air to right field. Again, this might be an issue, and it is. Stubbings continues to run. He's on his way to third. It's cut off. He'll slide in, and that's another triple as nobody touched it. But the communication out there in right field for CCU is a continued problem.
And what did I say? An absolute threat on the base paths. Speeding around, and just a heads-up play, especially for those young players. Oh, I popped out. This one looks like it'll be an out. You never know. And Stubbings, hustling, gets there to third.
That's like the 4th or 5th triple we've seen today, as those are typically unusual. And we've had a bunch of them today. Steinberger gets an opportunity here with another run 90 feet away for UCCS, 0-1. He bounces this one foul, 0-2. As a golden opportunity to continue to chip away at the lead for UCCS here. If you're Steinberger, you got to find a way to get Stubbings home. The 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Working quickly is Gimbel. Offers again, 1-2, swung on and missed, high strikeout, and a big out for CCU as UCCS is able to get a couple runs back. A 2-run shot from Hayden Iverson gets a couple runs back on the board for UCCS, and the lead for CCU just 3 as we head to the 7th inning. will be Major Maiden leading things off for the Cougars. Luke Thompson and Bodie Flores also due up in the inning with 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. Coming to the batter's box here, the top half of the 7th inning. Mountain Lions need a clean inning in a bad way as they have just 1/2 inning to even this game out. At the very least, first pitch to Maiden, fouled out of play 0-1.
Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention there. There's a dog with ski goggles on, which is certainly a first in my book.
Dogs with ski goggles are awfully popular out here in Colorado. Usually you're at a ski resort when you see them, but they do make appearances here and there. 0-2 here on Maiden. Shriver offers again, this one on the ground to Sayre. He collects it, throws it across, and Maiden is out number 1 in the 7th. Used to, back in the day of Von Miller playing for the Broncos, there used to be a internet famous canine by the name of the Von Dog who would wear a Von Miller jersey, his signature big black glasses, and a cowboy hat out. I believe it was at Monarch Ski Resort. Passed away a couple years ago to great dismay. On the ground to third, across, and out at first. It's a nice play for Vander Hodges. And 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the 7th for CCU.
I've yet to see a dog on the ski hill, but I think I just got to get out there more, you know.
Yeah, there's certainly enough to be around. Usually it's the ski rescue dogs that they like to dress up, but they always like to get creative up there. High country of Colorado. There is no rules up on the ski slopes. The 1-0. That one just inside as well. 2-0 now on Bodie Flores. Homered his last time up, a solo shot to make the lead 10 for CCU. 2-0. This one on the ground foul. Nearly a nice pick from the third base coach over there, but kicks off his hand and a glove comes out of the dugout to make the grab. Making sure you're locked in the dugout.
Staying lively.
2-1. That one's in the dirt.
That was always my specialty, making plays from the bench.
Usually I was the one getting my shin hit from a ground ball that I didn't see. 3-1. That one's outside as well. And going to first with the 2-out walk is Flores. Always seemed to find my shins for some reason, did those ground balls that found the door of the dugout.
Yep.
Sorensen will come to the plate. He's got a pair of walks, a single, and an RBI, as well as a looking strikeout. First pitch to him on the ground, foul. That'll bounce into the bullpen area of CCU. Soccer fans here in Colorado Springs, Switchbacks FC going to Loudoun United in Virginia, getting the 1-0 win. This one's on the ground to Hella. He'll go the short way to Macaulay Sayre. A 1-out walk to Flores as he's stranded. And we go to the Mountain Lions' last gasp. They need 3 runs, and they have 3 outs to work with to get there. We'll see if they can do it when we come back. The bottom of the 7th on the way.
UCCS gives me the freedom I need. With flexible courses and an inspiring campus, UCCS fuels success.
Apply today at uccs.edu.
So Jake Gimbel will make way for J.C. Watney, who is very popular with the local CCU fans making their way down. A big cheer when he was announced. Comes in 8.46 ERA. That was second best coming into the day behind Chaz Graham, but after Graham's outing in game one, it may be the leading mark. Watney is 1-1. This will be his 12th appearance of the season, 10th in relief, as this one is smacked foul out of play, 1-1 on Tyler Richardson, who's coming in to pinch hit for Vander Hodges. Again, fouling it out of play on the first base side, Richardson.
Watney's a senior out of Lakewood, Colorado. Lucky to have sounded like a pretty big cheering section traveling to support. A lot of players have great support systems in the area.
Playing for the hometown college team in Lakewood, as this one looks like it's going to hang up there for Morgan. It does. Unfortunate for Tyler Richardson, who got a little bit too much of it. He is out number one in the bottom of the seventh inning. Keegan Schultz, a double, reached on an error his second time up, and a hit by pitch his last time. He came around to score in the second, was stranded his next two trips on the base paths, and he takes for a low strike one. That one's outside, 1-1. Nice patience there from Schultz, leaving that one out. Straight up defense for Keegan. 1-1. This one lifted again into center field, going back this time Morgan, and it's off the base of the wall. Around first and gliding into second with a one-out double. Keegan Schultz continues his offensive pressure, his second double of the day, and that brings up Brackle.
Schultz only had one double coming into today. He's got two already in the second game.
And the Mountain Lions pulling out all the stops here. Kit Wigington, who was hurt coming into this game with a little bit of a hand ailment, but can still swing the bat well, is going to pinch hit. A big spot here. He had 2 home runs on Tuesday for UCCS in their win over Northern Colorado. His bat's been hot his last couple times out. First pitch to him is going to drop in at the knees for strike one.
And that just shows Dave Hadjick's confidence bringing in a lefty against the left-handed Watney. Certainly not afraid to put Wigington in the box to make something happen.
The 0-1 hangs the curveball, and Wigington way out in front of it, bounces it foul on the first base side. Wigington, coming in as a freshman last season, made his presence known, kind of rained home runs almost at will last year for UCCS. Him and Caleb Stubbings proved to be valuable offensively their first seasons. The 0-2, this one's lifted high in the air. Looks like it's going to be playable for Walton at short. It is. The Mountain Lions down to their final out for Ronan Hella.
I like the move a ton, though, if you're Dave Hadjick. You know, you're down a couple. You put in one of your best hitters to say, hey, let's make something happen. Let's see where this goes. Not just bowing out because it's late on a Saturday. They're pushing for this win.
Pulling out all the stops, nothing to lose, putting Wigington in there in the pinch. But Hella, who singled his last time up, came around to score. He was the extra runner on Hayden Iverson's 2-run shot. Iverson waits on deck should the game get to him. 1-0 on Ronan Hella. This one fouled straight back. 1-1, the count will be even. Always battling at the plate, Ronan Hella. Watney gets his sign, comes set. Runner on second is Schultz, who doubled. The 1-1 outside, 2-1. Wind has died down to a standstill. The 2-1. This one's hit well to left, but right there is Shern. He'll make the grab. And Colorado Christian will take game 2 by a final score of 10-7. Mountain Lions jump out to get game 1. CCU evens the series at a win apiece. And Brian, as we get set for tomorrow, kind of recap today as we split this opening doubleheader.
Yeah, I think the story really was pitching, especially in that first game. We were able to see some great pitching from UCCS, able to throw so many pitches, as we'll see some replays here. But in the second game, just 13 walks on the UCCS side to 0 from the Cougars, as the Cougars are able to claim the second game today.
And for CCU, they were able to jump back on the horse offensively here in game 2. Struggled for runs in game 1, just getting 3. But they jump out to get 10 more here in game 2. UCCS, the late push, proved to be too little too late, as Hayden Iverson does notch a home run. For the Cougars, it will be Jake Gimble that gets the win. He will improve to 3-3 on his season. For the Mount Lions, Hunter Owens pegged with the loss. He moves to 1-2 on his year. We'll be back here tomorrow with games 3 and 4 between these two teams. Again, first pitch for the opening game will be at 12 o'clock noon, just like today. Brian and I will be back here to bring you the action tomorrow as well. But for now, we will step aside. You all have a great evening. We appreciate you being with us. For my partner, Brian Geenan, I'm Jake Ross. All of us at Mountain Athletics, our director, Vita Russell, and all of the crew in the truck. We appreciate you being with us. We hope you join us tomorrow for games 3 and 4 on the series. Game 1 goes to the Mountain Lions. Game 2 to CCU. We'll see how the rest of the series ends up tomorrow. We say so long from Colorado Springs.